Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Jay Lang, the spiritual director here, and it is a lovely day today, beautiful day, just a perfect day. The best day ever, we might say, because every day is the best day, right? And it's the best day when Bodhi's here, so let's welcome Bodhi.
Are we on? I thought it was the imperfect day, Jay. Do we have words yet? All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. And all that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. One more time. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. And and all that I have, and all that I do, and all that I am is God. All that I am is God. All that I am is God. All that I am is the flame of life.
The flame of life. If you don't know, we call that the God candle because it represents the light that we all are. So welcome to the center that is the light, that you are the light that we are. What a beautiful day it is. We like to start our day with our vision and mission statement. So if you look on the screen, we welcome all those online as well. You have a screen right in front of you, so you can join us as well. In saying, we are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. A glorious affirmation for today and always. We have had a beautiful weekend that has just started Friday night, and a number of activities we had that really have brought together the feeling of community here. So many different people, different events, and there were, if you look at it, if you know what a Venn diagram, there are intersections of people that were there, but not everybody was at everything. So first of all, we had a movie Friday night called Bad Faith. A really important movie to watch because it's showing, it's not partisan. It sounds partisan at times, but it's really talking about our democracy and how we want to continue supporting voting rights and as well as other rights. If you missed it on Friday night, it is available on streaming. You can watch it on YouTube or Amazon, number of different ways. But also, we're going to have 2 more public showings of it in September 9th and 16th. What was wonderful, I'm going to show a clip about our Friday night. We had Peter Coyote here, the narrator of the film. And it was really a good discussion. And I'm going to post that on our website. But also, he's also going to be at these events on September 9th and 16th, among other events. A lot of these events you can look up on Wake Up Sonoma or our website, or look up things like the League of Women Voters and vote.org that will help you with registration. So that will be great things to do if you want to get engaged. Lots of opportunity to get engaged this year. And then also, yesterday was a wonderful event at the Reed Family Vineyard. We had a Crush MS last night. It raised, I don't know how much money, but I would say tens of thousands of dollars. And it was well worth cause. This is their 10th anniversary of having that. And they started small, only a few $1,000s they raised the first year, but the last few years they've been raising 6 figures, and all for the support of prevention and stopping MS. So it's a great cause, and many of us were out there doing volunteer. So if you were part of the volunteer team, can you just raise your hand and give you a round of applause? Thank you for doing that. So, thank you. It was a wonderful event that we have. And then also today, after the service, I'm doing a new member class right here in the sanctuary. So if you're interested in that, just show up. You don't have to sign up, or you can put your name on the sheet out there. But online, there's a particular thing. If you're virtual and you would like to be part of this, please do go. And Sean, if you could put the link in there from that. And so sign up online, because I need to know that, because I need to send you a Zoom link then. So, and you're welcome. I would love to have you there. And it won't be on StreamYard like we are now. It'll be on Zoom. So look for that link that comes across your, or go on to our website to find it, either one. So it's a good way to learn more about who we are what goes on here, ways to be involved, what we believe, and also you'll find a deeper connection with the people in the class and a deeper understanding of what goes on here so you can engage on a more meaningful way. And it's open to all. There's no obligation. I mentioned last week that anybody who was formerly members of another center or a Unity Center, your membership transfers automatically. You do have to put out an application for it. But if you still want to come to the class to get a sense of things going on here, you're welcome to do that also. And then jumping into August, because this is the last Sunday in July, we do have the Green Bag program on even months, so August being an even month. Officially, our Green Bag Day to bring in non-perishable foods that go to the food bank is on the 11th, but you can bring your bag back anytime from the 4th to the 11th during the week. You can drop it by the office. And if you don't have a green bag, there's some out at the welcome table today. You can see those. So we always like to be a part of that Napa Can Do project. And Napa Can Do is also sponsoring Pro Inclusion Napa, which is a great grassroots effort to promote decency, acceptance, and respect for all. They meet monthly, so you can engage at any time. You don't have to have gone to any other meetings at all. The group leaders are Joanne Sutra and Laura Keller that's over here if you have questions about it. But that's going to be on August 13th, and now they're going to start meeting at the Methodist Church. They were alternating before between here and there, so now they're going to just be at the Methodist Church for foreseeable future. So anybody is welcome to that. And then our unbottled concert series did change. Our blues musician had to cancel, and so he wasn't able to make it, so we replaced it. We changed the date, and Astra is going to be here as part of the concert. So we'll enjoy that. Same setup, you bring picnic, bring your beverages. We'll have chairs and tables out there and everything. So the same enjoyable time. It's just changed to a Friday night because the Friday night park city music won't be going anymore, so we'll be able to have it on the 23rd on a Friday night, which I think is better to have a gap between Friday and Sunday. So mark your calendars for that, as well as mark your calendars. This is really far out, but Bodhi's kind of far out, so we need to. Oh, so he's doing a soundscape oasis at the end of September. So just mark your calendar. It'll be after the service. He'll be our musician that day. So we'll. And this is a sound oasis that you can do either laying down or sitting up, so you can do it from your chairs. And I remember every time we've done it, it's a beautiful experience. And we'll have ticket links up for that shortly. We don't right yet, but we will shortly. So I think that'll be a fun event. Wednesday meditation, it says still at 6 p.m. Every Wednesday. And it's a great time to feel that peace, as well as if you stay after our services, we have prayers for with our practitioners that it's an honor for us to pray with you. So either after the service, or if you fill out a request in the lobby or online, we'll spend time holding you in prayer, both the focus time we do on Tuesday, but during the week as well, we'll hold you in prayer. So we always look forward to that. So please feel free to stay after the service for prayer or to do those prayer requests either way. Thank you. And now we're going to begin the sacred part of our service. Just allow that flute to gently bring peace into your soul. Just breathing deeply into this place. Allowing things to fall away that are no longer necessary. Or even the worries or thoughts you might have, just let them fall away for this moment. Let them be. As we open up this time we have together, this sacred time on this sacred land, where the Wapo Indians were once here, the Wapa Indians were here, living on this land, and we know that this is a sacred land. And the many different communities that have lived here since then have all been spiritual communities, and we're grateful for that. We know we're gathered here today to feel the presence and to open up the possibilities in our lives, to recognize the divine is moving in our lives in magnificent ways, and just allowing that to unfold in perfect and imperfect ways, knowing it is all God and all good. And we just bless this time, knowing it is so. And so it is. So today we have a special honor. Occasionally we have practitioners who have completed their education requirements, gone through special testing, as well as an oral panel of peers. They not assess knowledge but consciousness. So we have an installation today of our new practitioner, Monica Smith-Braun. Let's give her a round of applause. So when Ernest Holmes, our founder, talked about practitioners, he actually borrowed the term from all of New Thought, from Emma Curtis Hopkins, from the Fillmores who started Unity. And he just had this general idea about practitioners are people that are practicing spiritual principles. So in that way, we're all practitioners. But here at Centers for Spiritual Living, we have a special category of licensed practitioners that have gone through a series of classes and reading Ernest Holmes' work and deepening their consciousness. And from this place of consciousness, they speak these affirmative prayers, or sometimes called spiritual mind treatments, that are what we call the healing arm of our center. Now, they don't actually do the healing, but they reveal the truth so healing can happen. Ernest Holmes was at a Silmar one time, and he gave a talk that's now known as Sermon by the Sea, because it was his sermon by the sea, right? But it had a parallel to the Sermon on the Mount that Jesus gave. And this is what Ernest says that, to me, applies to practitioners. It would be wonderful indeed if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of their soul, who no longer has any fear of the universe, of God, or of people, or of anything else, who can get their littleness out of the way, and they shall reveal to me the immeasurable magnitude of the universe in which we live. Now, I know for myself and all these practitioners, it doesn't mean we're there all the time, but we have learned to jump quicker to this, quicker to that second thought we've been talking about. And I admire and appreciate the practitioners that are here. So I would like all the practitioners to come forward and stand and witness to Monica's installation. This center actually was founded by a practitioner, not by a minister, but by a practitioner. In 1961, practitioner Ruth Wright started a study group, and and almost 60 years ago, more than that. You can be on both sides. Okay, you don't want to block Monica. We've had over 50 practitioners. 4 went on to become ministers. Just let me know when you're ready. Is that good? Okay. I know each of you has a consciousness that supports the center, and I appreciate it. And now Monica gets the chance to step into this, and I affirm that I have registered her classes. She's had the right classes. She's passed her exam. And now the panel did not come from our center because they want it to be somebody who's objective. So we had a panel from the state of Washington, and they confirmed it. As a matter of fact, they more than confirmed it. They were excited and thrilled to have her, thought she was an amazing practitioner, and we were so blessed to have her. And I go, I know. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And because this is questions of consciousness, it's not I do, but I am. Okay? So first of all, are you willing to be, practitioners, you can turn towards her. That would be great. So Monica, are you willing to publicly declare your consciousness to be a practitioner at this center and to embrace opportunities to serve this beloved community and remember that you are divinely sourced in all that you do?
I am.
Could you borrow that microphone for her? Are you willing to be the consciousness to live as an example of one who understands and lives the teachings of the Centers for Spiritual Living and be an active, loyal, and supporting as defined by the practitioner code of the Centers for Spiritual Living?
I am.
Are you willing to be the high consciousness that consistently prays for the ministers, the center, fellow practitioners, the board of trustees, and this community?
I am.
Are you willing to be the consciousness that seeks to be peace and harmony in all situations and to find ways to be compassionate, healthy in your communication with all?
I am.
And now I ask our practitioners, and you too will answer with I am. Are you willing to be the consciousness that holds this practitioner in high regard as a peer and know the highest and best for her at all times in your prayers?
I am.
And now I ask our community. Are you willing, and you can say we are, because you're doing it collectively. Are you willing to be the consciousness that recognizes Monica as a prayer partner and practitioner?
Yeah.
So the power vested in me by the Centers for Spiritual Living, sounds like a wedding, doesn't it? I guess we're marrying you to the center. That's old school, sorry. We now honor and recognize you as a licensed practitioner at the Center for Spiritual Living, Napa Valley, with all the rights and privileges that go with such a title. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I present you with this stole that, if you've seen these other ones, they are, I think this one's slightly different, but this one has white on the outside, which is the, when all colors are brought together, it is the white light that is the clarity of spirit itself, and a reminder to be that. The gold is meant to be the spiritual gold that we turn from what is heavy into what is light. And finally, the purple is the divine that we keep close to our chest. I realize yours are gold on the inside, aren't they? Oh, they're purple also. Okay, it was hidden. So the purple is the color of divinity that we keep close, that is our inner self that we do. So Laura, could you put that on Monica for me? And I'll also give you this gift of a candle, which is your reminder to continue your spiritual practice, as well as remember that you are the light. So I give you this. and then you can set it on the table behind you. So let's give Monica a round of applause. Practitioners, you may be seated. Thank you. I'm going to pull it. You want to hold it or do you want to? Okay. Then I'm going to just give Monica a chance to share with you about her journey as a practitioner.
I'm so excited to be here today and to share a little bit about my journey to being a practitioner. And I really just want to thank Bodhi for bringing that consciousness of my Native American side into the room. So very grateful for that. And for knowing that that consciousness is always here. It's always around us, always through us and as us. So it's that important thought for the day. That God is always with us, that He's always connected with us, and we can access it with just our breath. You know, with just 3 breaths, I can usually connect with Spirit and know that all is well, that all is going to be fine.
Monica, can you hold the microphone?
That all is going to be fine, no matter what. No matter what is happening in my life. And I started my journey here with that lady on the wall back there, Reverend Thomas Smith. And this was in the late 80s when I first came here. When I first walked into this to the sanctuary, it was like coming home. I was kind of trying to be a Reformed Catholic, and it was hard to do on your own. So I started doing science of my classes, but we also started doing adult a recovery program for adult children of alcoholics. And that was part of the pattern that I needed to break to be able to love myself and feel whole within me. So it's taken a lot to get rid of all that trauma and to get rid of knowing that no matter what, God still loves me, and God still loves you, and we're all connected to Spirit in that realm, that we're all brothers and sisters of God, and we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and sometimes it's not always perfect. You know, sometimes it's a little rough. And that's when we need to remember that, oh, God is here and I need to talk to God. That's what I do in my life. And through the time I was here with Reverend Thomas Smith and then with Janet, Reverend Janet, and then I thought I found the love of my life, and I went down to Santa Clara, and I did some work with Reverend Jane and Reverend David Bruner down there, and I did all my classes again, and then I did my first year of practitioner then. But then something was calling me to come home. It wasn't, the working with Kaiser down there was not like working with Kaiser here. And so it was time for me to leave down there and come home. My daughter was going to have her second baby, who's now 13, and we didn't know whether she was going to have another C-section or not. So family called me back home, and then I was here until like 2016, I guess. After the fires, I had a job helping to close down the developmental center, and I was driving over the hill every morning, and God sent me these 10 dump trucks one day and said, "This is not going to be a good thing for you to continue to do. This is, you know, they're rebuilding still up there on those hills." So I moved to Sebastopol, but I always came to church here. This is my home church. This is a place where I found sides of mine. And so this is my home, and I'm so glad to be able to pray with everyone here And it's been a real honor to be part of the ministry of prayer as I practiced saying all my prayers out loud to pass my oral exams. And so last year wasn't the year for me to do that. I was in the middle of moving, I was in the middle of working, I was in the middle of retiring, and it was a mess. And then my little brother decided to get married on the day we were going to do oral panels. It just wasn't the right time. This is the right time. I'm not working, I'm not driving all over the place. I'm here, I'm just here, and I'm present, and I feel that's really good for this time now. So I thank all of you for your love and attention, and for all you bring every week, and all we bring to each other all the time. And so I just give thanks for that. So it is.
Let's give her another round of applause. Congratulations.
Well, this is perfect. Because that theme of imperfection is such a imperfectly perfect. I mean, it's kind of a, what do they call it, an oxymoron? Imperfectly perfect, but sometimes I really do feel imperfect and lost and confused, and this is the song I sing to myself when I feel that way. Sitting on a bench one day, I asked the Lord to teach me how to pray. And as I opened up my heart to Him, He came to me where to begin. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. And in those moments when I felt so close, must own the consequence for the path that I chose. Time and time again I reach for the sky, only to remember the truth lies inside. Oh, let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. So I keep breathing one breath at a time. My spirit soars and I accept my life. Loving you comes from loving me, and in this balance lies the way to be. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel your love. Let me feel your love. Feel your love. Feel your love.
Just breathe that in. You know, some songs, clapping doesn't seem like the right thing, but we can do a little bit of this to him. So thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. I like that, as we go into this idea of being perfectly imperfect, and we hit those moments in our lives when we feel like we've done something wrong, something imperfect, and just to stop and let me feel your love, Lord. Let me feel it, because I'm not feeling my own love for me. Let me feel it. Just allow it, and we allow it. And I know it sounds like we're almost talking to somebody outside of us, but it's not. It's the universe, and we're allowing that love to come in us, but we're not feeling it inside, so we need to let it come from out to in. Sometimes we're feeling it, and then we're loving everybody, and both work. At times we need one, sometimes we need the other. Sometimes we can have both too. So just thinking about that. So today we are talking about this perfectly imperfect and expansive experience as we continue with this concept about being imperfect. And what I love about this is that we can open up and find this expansive. It's more than just not feeling bad about ourselves, but we can use this imperfection as the crack between the worlds to allow more spirit within us. Because if we're trying to make it so exact, it's almost like a wall, and we're keeping others and spirit away from us because it has to be a certain way. I love the way Brene Brown talks about it, who wrote a book called The Gifts of Imperfection. And she says, let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. Healthy striving is self-focused. How can I improve? But perfectionism is other-focused. What will they think? Maybe I'm the only person, but sometimes I've been embarrassed to admit a mistake I've made because I think someone will judge me, or someone won't like me, or they'll think different of me. We need to drop all that, because that creates a false self that we're not really that person. So when we're able to embrace who we really are, then we're able to have an open heart, and that's what's going to create deeper connections anyway. It's not some false sense of ourselves, some made-up, adapted self that we put on a long time ago, a shell, because we wanted to present ourselves in an approvable way in the world. So as we step forward, we know that this idea of being imperfect is actually something that opens us up in a deeper way. So recently, I wanted to introduce you to Nathan Glad. He's a young man. He describes himself as a little guy, but he's actually 17 years old. Bob Fioretti gave me this book that he wrote that's called The Best Day Ever. And Nathan calls it a little book from a little guy with some big ideas on how to be happy. So Nathan was born with brittle bone disease. And in his life, just like the name suggests, he has broken literally bones hundreds of times. Now, some of those bones he's broken multiple times, right? And so he's been in a lot of pain in his life. Almost every day he feels some pain, and some days more than others. And yet his book is not about how tough his life's been, how much he's suffered, how many troubles he's had, and you should feel sorry for him because he didn't want that. He finds joy in every day because he proclaims it at the very start of it as this is the best day ever. And so I started reading his book, and my analytical brain goes, how can every day be the best day ever? Surely it's not. Certainly some days are bad for him. But he's really genuinely, his words just are infectious. They're just loving words and joyful words. And I go, okay, I just got to try this. So I've been doing that, waking up every morning and saying, this is the best day ever. And it works. you're suddenly, instead of the to-do list I run in my head, the things I've got to get done, I'm opening up to something special is happening today. It's going to evolve in perfect ways. Even when it seems imperfect, I know that it continues to be that it's an opening for a better day and more things coming through me. And it's interesting because I'll park that to-do list. I know I'll get things done, and I do. I'm just as effective as I am always. But I'm more present when I'm right there, and I listen, and I understand more because I'm present in the moment. So in that way, this is the best day ever. Today is the best day ever. Ralph Waldo Emerson, and then this is a quote by Nathan also. If you're sad and mopey all the time, life's going to be downright boring. Right? That alone, you go, okay, yeah, you're right. If I'm sad. No, there's going to be times we're down a little bit, and we know that Spirit is within us. Spirit opens us in great ways. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that, write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year. And he went on to say, today is a king in disguise. They are rich who own the day and are not invaded with worry, fret, and anxiety. Finish every day and be done with it. You've done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities, no doubt, crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. Begin it well, serenely, and with too high a spirit to be cumbered with your old nonsense. Too high a spirit to be cumbered with old nonsense. So what a lovely way to think about this, to know that this idea of this perfectly imperfections is a pathway to self-discovery. But if we're caught up in needing it to be perfect, we're not going to be discovered, we're not going to be opening, just recognizing that our beauty is in our imperfection as we open up to this transformation and self-exploration. Last week I talked about the three little pigs, right, and their imperfect life. Somebody after the service, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said something about you can't go back to the straw house. And I didn't say that, but that was a summary of what they caught out of my talk, and I've been thinking about that all week. We can't go back to the straw house. We want to. We might think those were the good old days, right? Those were the days. I was happy in that straw house. How come I just couldn't stay there? But it's time to come present with what is now, what is opening up, what is unfolding in perfect ways. The other part of that three little pig story that I was thinking about was that wolf. You know, he was a part of his repeated patterns that kept not working for him was that he was a lone wolf. Wolves are made to be in a pack. And I guarantee you, I know this community, that we make better decisions together, not being a lone wolf. Brene Brown says that one of the greatest barriers to connection is the cultural importance we place on going it alone. Somehow we've come to equate success with not needing anyone. Many of us are willing to extend a helping hand, but we're reluctant to reach out to help when we need it ourselves. It's as if we've divided the world into those who offer help and those who need help. The truth is that we are both. And this willingness to ask for what we need is not a weakness, but it's actually a strength, because it means you're empowering yourself to accept it. And it doesn't mean everybody can meet every need. You might ask somebody if they could do something or they could be with you, and they're not able to do it at that time because of what's going on with them. That's not saying no. It's saying not the right person, not at this time. I was here late Friday night after the movie, about 9 o'clock, and I was just finishing up. And somebody came from our community who happened upon seeing the lights on and came, and we sat down and talked. It was the right time. They had just lost somebody very important to them, and it was the right time to talk. Did I plan on at 9 o'clock at night to have an appointment with someone? No. But it was the right time. I knew that. It was the right time because I had the time, they had the time, and it was called in that moment. And that's when we know this, I feel like it was divine, that it just happened to be this moment, that they were walking by and I was here. And the divine guides us in those moments, whether it's sometimes in the middle of Trader Joe's, sometimes on a walk, sometimes somebody calls you or you have an intuition to call somebody. But it's that connection that's so important to do. So we also know that this perfection, this perfect imperfection, leads to self-acceptance and self-compassion that we can cultivate by just opening up to what is within us, what is emerging, that we don't necessarily have control over it, but it unfolds and emerges in perfect ways, and we're just allowing it to do that. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said that a change of consciousness does not come by simply willing or wishing it. Don't we wish it would sometimes? I'm just going to think and it's going to, here's $1 million. Oh, there's $1 million. But instead, it's not easy to hold the mental attention to an ideal while the human experience is discordant. But it is possible. So in our discontent, in our unhappiness, we can know something greater within us, within ourselves. Knowing the truth, he goes on to say, is not a process of self-hypnosis, but one of a gradual unfoldment of the inner self. To me, this gradual unfoldment he talks about is more sustainable anyway. Because I know I experienced it wasn't a flash, instant thing, but instead it unfolds in the soul, and there's a divine timing. The practitioners and I talk about a right and perfect time, that we know something happens in the right and perfect time, maybe not the time we think it should, but the right and perfect time. Monica is a great example. The right and perfect time for you to be a practitioner is today. It was the right and perfect time. And often the opposite confuses us as in many ways because of the way we think it should be, the way we think it ought to be, the way that opens us up in a deeper way. So what I know about this community is it's unfolding in the right and perfect way also. That I sent out an email this week to people saying I was concerned, the board and I were concerned because we're a little low on financial donations. But we know the solution to that is, first of all, not just more money necessarily. I mean, it is, but it can come from different sources. And the first one is the practitioners and the board and I are going into consciousness and holding it in spiritual affirmation that we are a prosperous center. It also comes from an expansion of that this is not our center. This is our center. And this is our center. The way that we engage, the way we show up. And we also want to be able to expand our consciousness here, and knowing that if you can imagine this is a image where all the circles represent people here at the center. Sometimes it doesn't mean we need more circles there, but it's an expansion of who we are. That it expands who we are, and in that it attracts more people to come also. But I will say, part of what I put in the letter is that we want to invite more people here. We want to invite your friends to events, to services, to meditation, different things. And sometimes we don't know exactly how to talk about our center because Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living is a mouthful. And you can just say Spiritual Living Center. You're in Napa already. If people want to know where it is, you tell them where it is. Or you can say something like, you can talk about your experience of the community. Or you can talk about that we study and learn about ways to let go of obstacles within ourselves or limitations, whether it's our own limitations or culturally imposed limitations, that we break through barriers, we learn how to transform. Also, you can talk about us being a cross between Christianity and Buddhism without the suffering or without hell. And it's just a simple way. And what I find is if people want more, they'll ask more. If they're not interested at this time, that's fine also. But I think it could be something that's more comfortable if you just have something quick you could say about where you go and invite people to come to, especially people who are already like-minded people that you know that are more progressive and are open to spiritual growth or self-growth in that way. And so invite them because we know that's an expansion. And then what else I put in the letter was, I know some of you are on fixed incomes, and I know some of you, this has been a tough year because of inflation. The inflation is why we're short on our budget right now by about 10 to 15% because costs of goods and services and utilities have all gone up. But I know they've gone up for you too. So I'm not asking you to give beyond your means. I'm not going to do that. But if you have extra, we would appreciate your support of the center so we can be back up on budget. The board is so good about using donations and fundraising and courtyard rentals and different things like that in very thoughtful and mindful ways. So we'll continue to do that, I promise. And then also, I think this conversation I had with Peter Coyote the other night. So in thinking about the story of the three little wolves, the three little pigs and the wolf, sometimes we can make somebody another person, make somebody the enemy, somebody not good. And I really like the way Peter on Friday night talked about from his Buddhist perspective, even though I tell you the truth, everything he says we could say here, because I feel like we so align with Buddhism in so many ways. But I really like the way he talked about it, so I'm going to play this clip.
So it's just as an act, since there's an equal odds that things could go badly or go well, the onus on you is to always make yourself take the choice that makes you the most powerful, that makes you feel the most expressive and the most full and the most capable of going on. It's like a mental trick. The other thing is to remember is that the universe includes everything. It's 50% positive and 50% negative. So I have faith actually in a kind of deep keel of okayness in the American people, like a fair shake. I know that we're not good people. I know that we're human beings, and human beings have the full spectrum of the universe within us. And this is why we have to be careful, because we are dangerous puppies. I can be Hitler, or I can be Mother Teresa. I can be Martin Luther King, or I can be one of those guys. And as Buddhists, we're fully aware of this, and we spend our time being mindful to make sure that our negative capacities don't get past our teeth or don't get activated into our muscles.
Wow. So think about it. Not past our teeth, which is a Buddhist phrase. It sounds kind of funny, but not activated in our muscles. So it's okay to have negative thoughts and tell yourself the truth, and from that choose compassion and kindness. But we also have the tendency, if we're not our whole self, if we're not willing to be this compassionate, vulnerable, willing to accept what is, accept our imperfections. He said, parts are positive and negative, that we are both, that we are human, that we are imperfect. Then we can other others. blame them for our unhappiness, blame them for our fears, our sadness, our life that's, this and that, instead of taking responsibility ourselves. It's an important difference that in this mindfulness we have. So I appreciate that. And like I said, I'll put the whole interview online because I think it's a good to listen to it. So my final point today is when we are perfectly imperfect, we're willing to accept it, we can have an authentic, joyful life. I love this picture of, which one is the tastiest strawberry? Which one is the sweetest? Is it how it looks or how it tastes or our experience of that somewhere that's a bigger picture of all of that? And as we open up to this idea that when we accept this imperfection, when we're willing to be open and have a radical acceptance, if you want to talk about it, use that term. Tara Brach, who's a Buddhist teacher, here she is. She wrote a book called Radical Acceptance, and she said that on the sacred path of radical acceptance, rather than striving for perfection, we discover how to love ourselves into wholeness. How to love ourselves into wholeness. That's a tweetable one, isn't it? And that's accepting who we are. And we're whole, complete, and perfect the way we are, divinely perfect, in our imperfections. And when we're able to accept that, we can open up to this place where we recognize our wholeness. We're whole whether we recognize it or not, but we can't live from it. We can't live authentically if we're not aware of it. If we're not willing to accept it, we're not willing to be that and love ourselves into this wholeness. I want to leave you with one final thought. The author, I did put this picture in because this reminds me of when we talk about being aligned. Sometimes that term is not clear, but it's aligned with our whole self-being. And this is a picture of our Japanese teacher that was here to bless our peace pole out front. And just this alignment, it just feels like she is setting this alignment that's there, and we're all aligning with her. But this is the quote that I wanted to bring into the room. Victor Hugo says, "Be like the bird that, passing on her flight a while on boughs too slight, feels them give way beneath her, and yet sings knowing that she hath wings." That is us. This imperfection we experience. This bow was supposed to hold us up, and it's not doing it. This person was supposed to be our partner for life. We're dependent on this person. The job was supposed to last. This thing or that thing, whatever it is, our health wasn't supposed to be like this. And yet, as that gives way, what we have is spirit that is the wings of our soul that will keep us from falling, keep us uplifted, the joy that is within us at all times. Let's go to prayer. In this moment, I know the truth of who we are, who each of us are, who the blessings of Spirit are right here and right now. As we allow ourselves to feel this wind underneath our wings that hold us above the suffering. We know there may be pains in our lives, and yet we do not suffer because it is Spirit that lifts us up, that we know we are an open-hearted, open-soul being. Life lived fully, authentically, in this perfectly imperfect humanness that we are. And we are grateful for this human expression we are, this beauty that we are. Just take that in, that I am beautiful. I am free. I am perfectly imperfect. And for this, I'm grateful today in all of our expressions, today and always. And so it is.
blessing of the wind carries me home again, dancing to the still small voice within. The softness of the day opens me to pray, gently showing me the way. I am free. The wind, she sings to me. Can you hear me laughing through the trees? You are free to live harmoniously. You are free to be. La da 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 da, la da 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 dee dee, la da 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 dee, dee 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 dee, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da da da. The blessing of the wind carries me home again, dancing to the still small voice within. The softness of the day opens me to pray, gently showing me the way. I am free. The wind, she sings to me. Can you hear me laughing through the trees? You are free to live harmoniously. You are free to be. You are free to be.
A little of both. I was going to let you know that next week, well, first of all, the new member is today. So if you want to be, if you want to come to the new member class, whether you're a member or not, you know, come and check it out. And then next week, we're starting a new theme on care of our soul. And after that, I'm going to do a little question and answer period. Anybody who wants to have questions about the center or about anything, we're just going to gather. If it's nice, we'll be outside. If not, we'll be in here. If it's a little warm, we'll be in here. But that'll be after the service on August 4th, that will be. And also just thinking of anniversaries, I know today is Mark and Erica's wedding anniversary. And next Sunday will be my anniversary for being here for 10 years. So hard to believe, right? I was young then.
I feel like you've been here forever.
I do too. No, wait, no, that's not what I meant. This is a time in our service when we invite you to be part of our sharing of abundance. If ushers could come forward. I want to let you know we have this poster up and we'll put it out front, but if you want to know what your donations go towards, it has a clear little list of that. And if you have any questions about that, you can also ask one of our board of trustees or myself about it. But we appreciate your support of our center. So many different ways to give to our center, both online, that you can do that. Yeah, we're going to do the affirmation first. Or whether you give online previously or today or in the future, what I'd like you to do is take a donate, or imagine you representing a donation you've given in the past, present, or future, or what you're giving today, and repeat the affirmation with me online, on the screen. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is. Thank you.
God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if I'm God, I'm talking to. I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used by you. God is the source of who I am. God is the dream of what I do. And if it's God I'm talking to, I give myself to be used, I give myself to be used, I give myself to be used by you.
Yay, now you can give them a clap, yeah. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining us online. If this happens to be your first time with us today, we want to give you a special welcome. We have a blessing for you. If you're willing to raise your hand, we'd love to let you find out who you are. And we have a blessing for you here. So we raise our hands and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. If we could have our practitioners to come forward. You know, today's a unique opportunity because we have so many practitioners here today. We have lots of people to pray with you, so please take advantage of this. And if you so are choosing to go straight out to have coffee, we'd like you to move on out of there so we can have this continue to be a sacred space for us to be. So let us welcome our children up here. Hi. What's that? Oh, it's a beautiful flower. Imelda, can you give us the microphone over there?
So we have an affirmation. Everybody's going to say it together. Okay? You ready? You ready? People have power to love.
Day.
Huh? Oh, she wanted me to make sure you say
Huh?
power.
So we didn't, Mary, because you weren't on the microphone, we couldn't hear you. So what?
Okay, let's do it one more time really loud, okay?
And you hold the microphone.
Yeah. Okay, let's. Ready? People have power to love.
People have power to love.
Yay.
People have power to
Love.
Great.
love.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, let's raise our hands and give the affirmation to our children. We love you. We care about you. We're here for you. Let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. Repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I'm led by Spirit. I'm guided by wisdom. I'm protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I'm so grateful. And so it is. We're ready.
Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world.
Everybody have a wonderfully imperfect Sunday. Hey.
You want to sing it? I don't know it. Move on out, get your body outside.
Oh, yeah, I meant to tell you that. Come on out, Mom.